believe it or not, Wriothesley is actually pretty good. I know, right? Unbelievable. Let's talk some post-release discoveries. So the biggest thing we've found by poking around with Wriothesley are differences in combos from pre-release. If you were to do healerless Wriothesley, let's say shielder like Ms. Layla here, there's an HP neutral combo that you can do. And it can actually be more damage than a lot of the healer combos. So watch this. N1C, N5C, N1C, 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 N5C. That is the healerless Wriothesley combo, and it sets up again for next rotation. If you wanted to start with HP, there's a couple different permutations of this. So, doing this again, starting with HP. Boop. Boop. There you go. The big thing to keep in mind is that Wriothesley has a really good charged attack. Even in his E-skill state, the charge attack is very directly similar to the damage from an N5. Being able to N1C is fantastic. The only problem, and the reason that more people aren't recommending this, 50 charge attack stamina cost. These combos, such as doing N1C, it's a lot of stamina. You can see you can barely do any. But theoretically, if you could have infinite stamina on Wriothesley, you would never use any of his normal attacks past N1. It is a shame there's no way to have infinite stamina. If you had infinite stamina, his optimal combo would look a lot like this. Which is really funny. So yeah, that biggest discovery is the healerless combo. The other reason I wanted to do post-release is people are really being very mean about this character and his reception. And I'm not really sure I entirely understand why. He's remarkably normal, average, actually. Pretty good. Regarding C1, it's like a 10-15% damage increase. It might actually be less with the healerless combo. I have not calculated that out yet, but it's just a very good C1. There's not a real reason to call out Wriothesley C1 as necessary if you were gonna not say the same thing about Shenhe, Yelan, Hu Tao, Nivelette especially. I don't really understand it. Wriothesley has a lot of good teams that take a lot of, I guess you could say, highly contested characters. You can do reverse melt with Nahida, you can use Shenhe for both melt and mono cryo and freeze. Wriothesley's freeze teams are going to continue to be fleshed out over the course of the next update and version 4.4 through Farina and presumably the Cloud Retainer. How will these characters impact him? I'm not entirely sure. Regarding Farina for freeze, having a character constantly apply Hydro can immediately scuff your freeze comp against a boss enemy who can't be frozen. It might make getting a Cryo Swirl a much bigger hassle than it should be, but that also might not be an issue at the end of the day, depending on what the sets in 4.3 are. Burnout's pretty good. It feels very similar to Mono Cryo for Wriothesley's own damage. Characters you can use for defense, Toma is fantastic. He gives normal charge attack damage percent at C6. He provides Pyro Resonance, which is 25 attack percent. Very solid character all around regarding melt comps. So you theoretically would be able to do something like this for Burn Melt. You get a bunch of EM from Nahida, which is okay buff. You could additionally use someone like Xiangling. Whenever you're playing Bennett, I do want to take a moment to highlight that we do have a healerless combo option. So if you're outside of the circle, it might not be as big of a deal as you think. A lot more difficult to play, but I was getting fairly good results with, is actually something like this. I'm going to look a little bit more into it with the healerless combo and look at what hits melt, but it seemed pretty competitive. If you were to use defensive cryo characters, Mika is great. Charlotte will be great if you're able to get enough energy recharge on her to use TTDS. If you are playing with Mika, I can show the combo that I recommend doing for him right now. So I've been doing 5 at 4C, or 4 and 5C with Mika. That's what I've been doing with Mika's attack speed buff. The attack speed is pretty comfortable. Thank you, Mika. Those additional 4 hits or so in the E skill, they're pretty good. You give up a fair bit to use Mika over Charlotte, specifically regarding Tenacity of the Millilith and TTDS, except you might not always be able to use TTDS, so it's really just Tenacity versus the extra hits from Mika. Pretty comparable at the end of the day. If you're able to use TTS, Charlotte will be better for damage. He has plenty of weapon options, which are nice. Specifically, he's got Widsith, he's got his 5-star weapon, he's got Tolotolo's Remembrance, he's got Skyward Atlas, he's got Lost Prayer, he's got Memory of Dust, if you're playing with a shielder. Ballad of the Boundless Blue, the free weapon from the current event. It's great. Pretty solid character. Competitive with Ayaka Ganyu. I don't know if he's better. We'll see what happens. Overall, Wriothesley is just kind of a solid character. I really like that he's cryo melee. I talked about the sound design. Everything sounds very weighty. Big fan. Okay, that's my Wriothesley post-release. Okay, that's my... I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to... What else do we say? Wriothesley is actually a pretty good character. He's pretty fun. I really am a big fan of his sound design. Aura, aura. Boom, 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 boom. Leave comments, I guess, and I'll try to look at them.